Welcome to the official Sigma Male channel, where we explore the deeper truths about what it means to embrace your Sigma nature. In today's video, we're diving into something powerful that many of you have experienced but few have mastered. What happens when a Sigma man finally stops pretending? Have you ever felt that burning sensation in your chest when you're forced to play by society's rules? That constant need to suppress your true instincts just to fit in. Every Sigma male reaches a breaking point where the mask becomes too heavy to wear. This video will guide you through the transformation that occurs when you finally decide to live authentically. If you find value in understanding the Sigma mindset and want to unlock your full potential, make sure to subscribe to our channel. We provide exclusive insights that you won't find anywhere else, from someone who has walked this path and emerged stronger on the other side. The strategic solitude. The journey begins with what I call strategic solitude. This isn't about isolation born from weakness. It's a calculated withdrawal from social games that drain your energy. When a Sigma male stops pretending, the first thing he does is reclaim his alone time without apology. Most men fear solitude because society has programmed them to believe that constant social validation is necessary. But Sigma men understand that genuine power is cultivated in silence. In my coaching practice, I've seen countless men transform their lives simply by embracing strategic solitude for just 2 hours daily. Consider Marcus, a client who worked in a high-pressure sales environment. For years, he forced himself to attend meaningless office parties and happy hours because he thought it was necessary for advancement. When he finally stopped pretending to enjoy these events and instead used that time for strategic thinking and skill development, his performance actually improved by 40%. Strategic solitude isn't about becoming a hermit. It's about being selective with your social energy. A true Sigma understands that every social interaction should serve a purpose or bring genuine satisfaction. When you stop pretending to enjoy pointless gatherings, you free up mental bandwidth for pursuits that actually matter. The key is to establish boundaries without explanation. Most men make the mistake of justifying their need for solitude, which only invites debate. Instead, simply state your unavailability as a fact. This projecting of certainty is the first sign that a Sigma male has stopped pretending to be what others expect. Remember, lions don't explain why they walk alone. Your strategic solitude will naturally trigger curiosity and respect when implemented with unwavering confidence. The moment of truth. Every Sigma male experiences a pivotal moment when pretending becomes more painful than the potential consequences of authenticity. This is what I call the moment of truth, the critical juncture where you decide that living on your terms is non-negotiable. For some, this moment comes after years of suppressing their natural instincts to lead and decide independently. For others, it arrives suddenly, triggered by a specific event that crystallizes the futility of playing by rules designed for average men. Take Jonathan, a corporate executive who spent a decade nodding along in meetings while his innovative ideas remained unspoken. His moment of truth came during a failed project when he realized that his silence had contributed to the company's poor decision-making. The next day, he walked into the boardroom and calmly dismantled the proposed strategy with logical precision, offering his alternative approach without seeking approval. The room fell silent, not because his ideas were revolutionary, but because everyone witnessed the transformation of a man who had finally stopped pretending to be just another team player. When a Sigma male reaches this moment of truth, 3 things happen simultaneously. First, there's an immense release of mental tension as the cognitive dissonance of living inauthentically dissolves. Second, there's often immediate pushback from those who benefited from your compliance. Third, and most importantly, you experience a surge of clarity about your path forward. This moment of truth doesn't require grand gestures or dramatic confrontations. In fact, the most powerful transitions happen quietly, marked by a subtle shift in your energy that others can sense but can't quite name. It's in your unwavering eye contact, your unhurried responses, and your sudden immunity to social pressure. The moment of truth isn't about rebellion. It's about alignment. It's when your external actions finally match your internal compass, creating a congruence that radiates undeniable authority. As we've explored throughout this video, when a Sigma male stops pretending, he doesn't just change his behavior, he transforms his entire reality. The journey from social conformity to authentic Sigma living isn't easy, but it's the only path to true fulfillment for men wired with our unique psychological makeup. Remember that this transformation isn't about becoming someone new. It's about revealing who you've always been beneath the social masks. The power, focus, and inner peace you'll experience are simply the natural state of a Sigma male living in alignment with his core nature, breaking free from social expectations. Breaking free from social expectations is where the true Sigma transformation begins. Society has constructed elaborate cages disguised as normal behavior that keep most men trapped in mediocrity. When a Sigma male stops pretending, he systematically dismantles these invisible constraints. The first step is identifying which social expectations are actually holding you back. Not all social norms are detrimental. Some provide necessary structure for civilization. The key is distinguishing between beneficial structure and unnecessary limitation. For example, basic courtesy isn't something to discard, but the expectation that you must attend every social function to be considered part of the team absolutely is. I coached David, a brilliant programmer whose career stalled because he refused to engage in office politics. Society told him that networking and socializing were essential for advancement. When he stopped pretending to care about climbing the corporate ladder, through social manipulation, he founded his own software company based purely on technical excellence. Within 2 years, his former employers became his clients. Breaking free requires developing immunity to the primary weapon used against Sigma males: shame. When you decline an invitation without explanation or pursue an unconventional path, people will attempt to use shame to bring you back in line. The liberated Sigma recognizes shame attempts immediately and sees them for what they are: control mechanisms used by those who fear independence. Another critical aspect is learning to communicate on your terms. Society expects men to either dominate conversations aggressively or participate enthusiastically in small talk. The Sigma who has stopped pretending speaks deliberately, with purpose, saying neither more nor less than required. This measured communication style projects immense power because it demonstrates that you value your words rather than dispensing them carelessly. Remember that breaking free doesn't mean becoming antisocial. It means becoming selectively social, based on value alignment rather than obligation. When you stop attending events out of duty and start engaging only with people and activities that energize you, your authentic charisma naturally emerges. The final component is developing comfort with being misunderstood. Most men exhaust themselves trying to ensure everyone gets them. The Sigma who has stopped pretending accepts that many people will misinterpret his motivations and choices, and he's completely at peace with that reality. Unleashing the raw power. When a Sigma male stops pretending, he unlocks reserves of power that most men never access. This isn't about dominance over others. It's about harnessing your natural intensity that society taught you to suppress. The unleashing of raw power manifests in several distinct ways. First comes decisive action without hesitation. Most men waste tremendous energy second-guessing themselves or seeking consensus before making moves. The Sigma who has stopped pretending evaluates situations quickly and executes decisions with confidence. This speed and certainty creates a momentum that others find difficult to resist or redirect. Consider Thomas, a mid-level manager who spent years carefully filtering his ideas through layers of political consideration. When he finally stopped pretending, he began presenting his unvarnished thoughts directly. His team was initially shocked by his clarity, but productivity increased by 67% within 1 quarter because time previously wasted on political calculation was redirected to implementation. Next is the power of uncompromised standards. Society encourages men to lower their expectations to avoid disappointment or appearing too demanding. The authentic Sigma maintains exemplary standards in all areas, from his work to his relationships to his personal conduct. These standards aren't flexible social constructs, but unshakable principles derived from his core values. Perhaps the most noticeable aspect of unleashed Sigma power is the comfort with intensity. Most men are taught to moderate their passion, ambition, and drive to make others comfortable. When a Sigma stops pretending, he allows his natural intensity to flow without dilution. This intensity isn't aggressive or hostile. It's simply the pure expression of concentrated purpose. The unleashed Sigma also reclaims his competitive nature. Society increasingly frames male competitiveness as toxic, but healthy competition drives excellence. When you stop pretending not to care about winning, you channel your competitive spirit into productive achievements, rather than suppressing it where it festers into resentment. Another dimension of raw power is embracing calculated risk. The pretending Sigma avoids risks to maintain stability and approval. The authentic Sigma evaluates risk properly and takes bold action when the potential rewards justify it. This willingness to step beyond safety creates opportunities invisible to the risk-averse majority. This power isn't about external validation, but internal alignment. When your actions, words, and thoughts align perfectly, you operate at maximum efficiency without the energy drain of maintaining inconsistent personas. This is why authentic Sigmas often seem to accomplish more with less visible effort. They're not wasting resources on pretense. Reclaiming your time and energy. Time and energy are the most precious currencies available to any man, yet most squander these resources trying to meet endless external expectations. When a Sigma male stops pretending, his first priority becomes ruthless protection of these finite resources. The reclamation process begins with an honest audit. Track exactly how you spend your time and energy for 1 week, noting which activities drain you versus which ones recharge or fulfill you. Most men are shocked to discover that over 60% of their discretionary time goes to activities they don't actually value. They simply drift into these patterns through social momentum. Michael, a high-performing executive, realized during our work together that he was spending 14 hours weekly in meetings where his presence added no value and received none in return. When he stopped pretending these commitments were necessary and reclaimed those hours, he launched a side venture that eventually became his primary wealth vehicle. The next step is implementing clear boundaries without apology. Most men signal availability by default, making themselves constantly interruptible. The authentic Sigma operates on the opposite principle. He is unavailable by default and selectively grants access to his time. This isn't rudeness. It's recognition that undirected time leads to undirected results. A crucial aspect of energy reclamation is eliminating performance behaviors. Society trains men to perform, to act interested when bored, to feign agreement when they disagree, to display enthusiasm for projects they find meaningless. These performances drain massive energy through cognitive dissonance. When a Sigma stops pretending, he conserves this energy by aligning his outward expressions with his genuine internal state. Another powerful technique is strategic incompetence in low-value areas. The pretending Sigma tries to appear competent at everything. The authentic Sigma deliberately remains incompetent at tasks that don't deserve his mastery. This isn't laziness, it's intelligent resource allocation. By appearing hopelessly inept at organizing office birthday celebrations, for example, you ensure those tasks flow to people who actually enjoy them. The reclaimed time and energy must be deliberately redirected rather than absorbed into habit patterns. Establish daily non-negotiable blocks for your highest value activities, whether that's creative work, strategic thinking, physical training, or relationship building. Protect these blocks with the same seriousness you would protect a vital business meeting. Perhaps most importantly, stop measuring your time value by conventional metrics. Society says leisure is wasted time unless it's productive or social. The authentic Sigma recognizes that contemplation, rest, and solitary pursuits are not indulgences but necessities for peak performance. When you stop apologizing for how you recharge, you break one of society's strongest control mechanisms. The new reality: authentic dominance. When a Sigma male stops pretending, he doesn't need to seek dominance. He embodies dominance through authenticity. This creates a new reality around him that operates by different rules than the conventional social hierarchy. This authentic dominance manifests through several key principles. First is presence over performance. Most men attempt dominance through obvious displays, interrupting others, speaking loudly, or aggressive body language. The authentic Sigma dominates spaces simply through his complete presence. When fully present rather than mentally scattered, your focused attention creates a gravity that naturally draws others into your orbit. James, a client who previously believed he needed an extroverted persona to succeed in leadership, discovered that when he stopped performing and simply became fully present, his team actually listened more attentively to his quieter, more measured communication style. His authentic presence commanded more respect than his previous performed authority. Next comes value-based selectivity. While alpha males often attempt to dominate all interactions, the authentic Sigma selectively engages only in situations worthy of his full capacity. This deliberate choice about where to deploy your energy creates a scarcity value around your involvement. When you stop pretending to care about trivial matters, your investment in important ones carries exponentially more weight. The authentic Sigma also practices what I call opinion minimalism. Most men feel compelled to have and express opinions on countless topics: politics, sports, entertainment, other people's choices. When you stop pretending to care about matters that don't impact your mission, you conserve tremendous mental energy while simultaneously elevating the impact of opinions you do express. Another aspect of authentic dominance is comfort with silence. Society trains men to fill conversational gaps, revealing their discomfort with silence. The Sigma who has stopped pretending uses silence strategically, allowing others to reveal themselves while he maintains his position of evaluation. This creates natural power dynamics where others consistently seek your approval rather than vice versa. Perhaps the most powerful component is detachment from outcomes. Most men reveal their insecurity by attaching strongly to particular outcomes in social or professional situations. The authentic Sigma presents his ideas, makes his offers, or states his position with complete detachment from how others receive it. This non-attachment paradoxically increases the likelihood of achieving preferred outcomes because it eliminates the desperation that repels success. This new reality operates on personal sovereignty, the understanding that while you cannot control external events, you maintain absolute authority over your responses, standards, and boundaries. When others sense this unshakable internal locus of control, they naturally orient themselves around your reality rather than expecting you to adapt to theirs. Remember that authentic dominance isn't about controlling others. It's about refusing to be controlled by external expectations, social pressure, or temporary emotions. This self-governance creates a natural authority that no performed dominance can match. Building an empire on your terms. When a Sigma male stops pretending, he begins building his empire, not necessarily a business empire, though that often follows, but an empire of aligned living where every element of his existence supports his core mission. This empire building follows distinct phases that separate authentic Sigmas from those still performing social roles. The foundation begins with ruthless elimination. Most men attempt to build new structures while maintaining all existing commitments. The authentic Sigma first creates space by eliminating every activity, relationship, and obligation that doesn't directly support his vision. This often means becoming temporarily less successful in conventional terms before exponential growth occurs. Aaron, a lawyer trapped in a prestigious but soul-crushing corporate practice, appeared to take a massive step backward when he resigned to start a specialized practice in an area he was genuinely passionate about. His income dropped by 70% initially. 3 years later, his focused expertise created a monopoly position in his niche, resulting in both greater wealth and complete schedule autonomy. The next phase is strategic alliance formation. The pretending Sigma attempts independence at all costs, failing to leverage others' strengths. The authentic Sigma builds relationships based on genuine value exchange rather than social obligation. These alliances aren't friendships with benefits, but clear arrangements where each party contributes distinct capabilities toward mutual advancement. A crucial element is creating signature systems rather than following established methods. When you stop pretending that conventional approaches work for your unique situation, you develop customized systems optimized for your specific strengths and goals. These signature systems eventually become intellectual property that others seek to access. The empire-building Sigma also implements extreme ownership principles. While most men share credit abundantly but deflect blame to circumstances or others, the authentic Sigma claims total responsibility for both successes and failures within his domain. This ownership mentality eliminates victimhood thinking that keeps most men trapped in mediocrity. Another powerful strategy is leveraging contrarian timing. Society creates powerful herd movements where opportunities become overcrowded rapidly. When you stop pretending to see value where others do, you can move counter-cyclically, investing time and resources in neglected areas about to experience renewed demand. The most distinctive characteristic of Sigma empire building is the creation of asymmetric opportunities. The authentic Sigma structures his endeavors to provide unlimited upside with strictly limited downside. This asymmetry becomes possible when you stop pretending that conventional risk-reward relationships are fixed rather than negotiable. Remember that your empire isn't built through sudden dramatic changes, but through consistent application of principles over time. The authentic Sigma understands that empire building is not about impressing others with immediate results, but about creating enduring structures aligned with his highest values. The ultimate Sigma evolution. The final phase of the Sigma transformation occurs when pretense is so distant that authenticity becomes your default state rather than a conscious choice. This ultimate evolution represents the full integration of Sigma principles into every aspect of your being. Few men reach this level, but those who do experience life on an entirely different dimension. In this evolved state, you no longer think about being authentic. You simply cannot conceive of operating any other way. The mental frameworks that previously required conscious application now function automatically as your baseline operating system. This integration creates extraordinary cognitive efficiency, as the internal conflicts that plague most men simply don't exist in your reality. Consider Robert, who spent decades in conventional corporate structures before his Sigma awakening. In our first year working together, he needed constant reinforcement to maintain his authentic principles against social pressure. 5 years later, when a potential investor attempted to pressure him into compromising his company's core values, Robert didn't even experience temptation. The very suggestion seemed absurd rather than challenging. The evolved Sigma develops what I call integrated charisma. Unlike performed charisma that drains energy, integrated charisma emerges naturally from complete congruence between internal values and external expression. People are drawn to this authentic presence without you making any effort to attract them. The need to be liked disappears entirely, paradoxically making you more magnetic. Another marker of ultimate evolution is temporal independence. While most men remain trapped in rigid relationships with time, either bound to the past or anxious about the future, the evolved Sigma maintains flexible temporal awareness. He draws lessons from history and plans strategically for the future. While remaining fully engaged with present reality, the evolved Sigma also transcends reactive emotional patterns. Rather than suppressing emotions, common in undeveloped Sigmas, or being controlled by them, common in average men, he experiences emotions as valuable data without being defined by them. This emotional integration allows for unprecedented clarity in decision-making. Perhaps the most powerful aspect of this evolution is the development of philosophical certainty alongside tactical flexibility. You become unshakable in your core principles while remaining completely adaptable in your methods. This combination of fixed stars and fluid movement creates a rare form of resilience that conventional success frameworks cannot touch. The ultimate. Sigma evolution also brings profound inner peace. The exhausting internal conflicts that consume most men's mental energy, between ambition and contentment, between social acceptance and personal integrity, between discipline and freedom, resolve. Naturally, when you stop pretending these are actual dichotomies rather than false choices created by flawed thinking. This evolved state isn't about achieving perfection or eliminating challenges. It's about engaging with life's complexities from a position of integrated authenticity rather than fragmented performance. When a Sigma male fully evolves beyond pretense, he doesn't just change his life. He changes the definition of what life can be. As we've explored throughout this video, when a Sigma male stops pretending, he doesn't just change his behavior, he transforms his entire reality. The journey from social conformity to authentic Sigma living isn't easy, but it's the only path to true fulfillment for men wired with our unique psychological makeup. Remember that this transformation isn't about becoming someone new, it's about revealing who you've always been beneath the social masks. The power, focus, and inner peace you'll experience are simply the natural state of a Sigma male living in alignment with his core nature. If you found value in these insights and want to continue mastering the Sigma mindset, hit the subscribe button and join our community of men who refuse to settle for mediocrity. The official Sigma Male channel is dedicated to providing you with the tools, strategies, and mindset shifts that society won't teach you. Because when a Sigma male stops pretending, that's when his true impact on the world begins.